Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we will be taking a look at the Jaguar Black Friday Edition Era 2 medium tank. For those of you short on time, here is my quick overview. The Black Jag is an Era 2 Eastern Alliance medium that has a 75% tank XP earn rate, which is insanely high. That is the highest for any premium medium in Cold War. It also boasts some incredible spaced armour at the front. It has an internally angled upper and lower plate of 100mm, on top of which sits three other plates that range from 105mm all the way up to 170. This tank is very well armoured from the front, and when you play it, you really do notice this. And for me, that is what sells this tank, because from a play style point of view and from the paper stats point of view, you wouldn't think this is anything special. But that is what, for me, sells this tank. It's the Leopard 2A5 of Era 2 from a play style point of view. Obviously, this is a medium. Leopard 2A5 is a heavy. But from a play style point of view, it is the Leopard 2A5 play style. Strong from the front, and it has weaker sides. And if that doesn't sound like it's enough for you, it can be yours for as little as 7,700 gold. That is an incredibly good price. A very, very good price, especially when you compare that cost to the other Era 2 premiums that we've been seeing recently. I mean, I'm talking about the Rock Crawler, which I think was like 11,000 or something. But yeah, I mean, 7,700 is a steal. And that is, for me, I've said enough to sell. For me, anyway, I've said enough to sell this tank. The game you're seeing in the background right now is one of the best games I have ever played. So, on top of everything that I've just said, if it's not sold to you yet, I'll just tack on this little bit of extra. This is one of the best games I've ever played in this game. And I've been playing for 6.5 years, I'd say. So, there you go. I'll just tack that on there. Right then, let's take a look at the Black Jag in a little more detail. As of right now, and by my best count, we have 14 Era 2 mediums that are premiums. 14 of them. And that is too many for me to do any kind of useful comparison in the way that I would normally do. So what I've done is I've put this table together and highlighted the best and the worst in each category. So from left to right we have the tank name, penetration values for primary, gold and secondary ammo, the damage values for those types of ammunition, hit points of the tank, max speed, view range, concealment values moving and stationary, and finally the economy earn rates. As you can see, the Black Jag isn't the best or the worst in any of the performance categories. But where does it rank when you compare it to all the other tanks? The Black Jag has 432mm of pen on its standard rounds, which ties it fourth with the Type 80. It'll do 460 average alpha per shot, which places it 7th. It has 2,600 hit points, which places it 9th. It has an unboosted top speed of 60 km an hour, which places it 11th. It has 505 meters of view range, which places it 6th. And finally, it has 411 meters of concealment while moving, which places it 5th. So as you can see, it is not a record breaker in any way whatsoever. That is, if you just take the paper stats, it's not a record breaker. But for me, this is where the old saying of don't judge a book by its cover comes in, because while the paper stats make it look meh, when you play it, and this is for me based on my experience with playing it, it has the potential to be absolutely superb absolutely superb when front on. And I say that because I've taken minimal damage from ATGMs, and when I say ATGMs, I haven't played this game against a Sheridan yet, but I have played it against BMP1s, BMP2s, and I've taken ATGMs from both. I think I took an ATGM. I did take an ATGM earlier in the side from a BMP1. So that obviously that did full damage because it's a side shot, but I've taken an ATGM from the front from a BMP2 and it did minimal damage. It did maybe, I say minimal for an ATGM, I mean 300 is still quite a lot, but for an ATGM that's not a huge amount. And if your armor can block that much, then it's good. You know, this is not a bad tank by any means. And the hull traverse isn't exceptionally good, but you'll see it in a second here. I think it's coming up right now actually. There's a Brennus in front of me right here, and he's about to he's going to circle me. Let's see if we can wait for this to happen. I go to the right of the rock, he goes to the left. Just here. Shot goes out, auto cannon. And as you can see, 1,095 hit points is what I started on with that engagement, and I ended that engagement with 1,095. And shout out to this Magak for thinking I'm cheating. GG, bro. Anyway. Yes, the hull traverse isn't incredibly quick, but it's quick enough for you to keep your front armor facing the enemy. So you can bounce BMP2 autocannons, you can bounce the Farad autocannons, you can bounce the ATGMs from the front. So really, the armor is what is making this tank so good. I mean, the other stats aren't brilliant, they're not terrible, but they're not worth bragging about. You know what I mean by that? The only thing that I would say that pulls this tank down, and this is, in my opinion, this is what pulls it down, is it has 7 degrees of gun depression. Now 7 degrees isn't terrible, you could do a lot worse. I know I think it's the Type 80, has 5 degrees I think, so you could do a lot worse. But 7 degrees is a limiting factor, and the engagement I had earlier that took place in C6, C7, I was struggling with gun depression there. But really, 7 degrees, that's not enough of a reason to not buy this tank. This vehicle has, it's unique in my opinion. It has a unique play style, and for the price tag of 7,700 gold, you can't really go wrong. And there we go. There's the win, and MVP with 8 kills. Like I said at the start, one of the best games I've ever played. So, I mean, if this game is representative of what this tank can do, then it's got potential. It really does have potential, and that is what would sell it. But before we round up, let's just go over the economy stats. It has a 50% silver boost, 75 tank XP boost, 4% free XP boost, and lastly a 10% crew XP boost. So the tank XP boost there is obviously the winner. That's the USP for this thing. That's what you would want to buy it. And if nothing else I've said so far has sold you on this tank, then maybe the 75% tank XP boost will. So there you go, folks. That is all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one.